All right, everybody, welcome in to the crossover. That right there is NBA veteran Keyon Dooling. It's your boy Tende Tony. KD, I got a couple of things top of mind right now. I want you to pick dealer's choice right now of the topics that we're going to go through. So here's my hand. Okay. We got OKC versus the Spurs.
Check.
We've got LeBron, Dillon Brooks.
We need to check.
We've got NBA Cup tomorrow night, the final.
Check.
All right, where do you want to go first?
You know what? Let's start with LeBron.
Okay.
Yeah, let's start with LeBron and Dillon Brooks. I can't say that Dillon Brooks is LeBron's nemesis. I think he's everyone's nemesis. It's the way he plays the game. It's his superpower. So yeah, I look forward to talking about Dillon and LBJ.
So let's, Sean, let's get it rolling here. So this is some of the stuff that happened last night. Lakers and Suns. Dillon Brooks gets fouled, throws the ball off LeBron. LeBron didn't like that. He's going kind of face-to-face with Dillon Brooks. And LeBron has to be separated by the ref. Mm-hmm. And KD, I mean, I didn't play in the NBA, okay? I wish I could have. Mm-hmm. You did. Mm-hmm. Do they tell you never touch the ref?
Don't put your hands on the officials. That's
like the
law.
First rule.
That's law. That's law. Fans and officials are off limits. I think, hell, Dillon Brooks should have been the one who got jacked up, not necessarily the official. Mm-hmm. Look, it's very frustrating for LeBron, man. He's held his temper his entire career. He's pretty much been flawless at every intersection. But Dillon Brooks brings the worst out of everyone, in particular LeBron. And I know his role isn't as, prominent on his team as it is for LeBron and his team. But at some point, I would like to see LeBron have a physical altercation on the court. I'm not saying have a malice in the palace. Uh-huh. I'm not saying, knock somebody out. But sometimes, when you got that size and that strength, you might have to jack somebody up every now and then. You might have to, let them know, I'm a grown man out here. Don't play with me. My kid's watching this.
My kid's on the team.
Facts.
My kid's watching from closer than the seats.
Yeah,
He's in the uniform. I'd like to examine really quick the Dillon Brooks story arc of villainy. Mm-hmm. Because when he was with Memphis, still kind of had the same situations, right? Memphis at that point was good. They were a good team, one of the top teams in the West. Decided, all right, Dillon Brooks, we're going to flat out cut you, which I thought was an interesting piece because I thought he was a decent contributor, but he went through that dry spell where he couldn't hit a shot. His defense has always been, decent. He's always been a good on-ball defender. And then the antics would took it over the top. Mm-hmm. Houston, remember, they were in a situation where they had a salary floor issue where they couldn't pay people enough. They had to be under a certain threshold or over a certain threshold for the salary cap. So they gave Dillon Brooks, a 4 for $80 deal? Mm-hmm. When the Grizzlies cut him, nobody wanted him after the whole situation back and forth in the playoffs. Rockets said, all right, we're going to pay you. We need to pay somebody. Here's $80 million. Yeah. He gets part of the trade over to Phoenix for KD. And now all of a sudden, you look at Dillon Brooks, averaging almost 22 a game.
Well, he was averaging 20 in Memphis. He averaged more than 20 in Houston. Dillon Brooks always has gotten buckets. I think he's had to reinvent himself, or he's invented this character on how he plays. And everybody uses something different to get themselves motivated, to keep themselves going, to keep themselves engaged. But here's the thing. Dillon Brooks has never had problems off the court. He plays hard every night. He's a good two-way player. Yeah, he has antics and things like that, but that works for him. Right. If he doesn't have those antics,
the edge?
Yeah, would he be the same player for this period of time? So I'm not mad at the way that Dillon plays the game. I think he plays the game the right way. He plays the game hard, and he's more than feisty. Yeah. He's an agitator.
Yes.
And nobody's exempt from it. I think LeBron gets it the most because it's just something that he enjoys to do. But I got respect for Dillon. I think he plays the game hard. Me too. He don't back down from a challenge. It get a little aggravating sometimes, though.
I'm sure. There's a bunch of agitators in the NBA. I think Dillon Brooks chief among them. But if you see here, late second shot clock shot, he goes up for a three, nails it. LeBron goes by to contest. If you watch, LeBron smacks the shit out of him on the side of the ribs right here. Let's see if once it rolls back. Let's say shot, contest, bomb, gets him. DB falls. He gets up to kind of play defense on him. Or is that more of you just hit me, but I'm going to let you know because I hit that shit in your face?
Absolutely. It was the latter. It was to let LeBron know, hey, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't backing down, and don't try me.
And then LeBron, this is what we both talked. I didn't like the lean back little flop from LeBron there on the bump.
Yeah,
There's a lot to move that man at 265 pounds and 6'8".
Yeah, I don't like it. At the end of the day, like LeBron on that possession, I think he threw a rock and hit his hand because he actually hit him initially. And then when Dillon got in his face, he kind of flopped and looked at the referees. Obviously, he's playing the game. He's trying to win. But I'm just at the point now where I just feel like it's important for LeBron to kind of lose his temper at some point. I think Dillon Brooks really is the only guy who brings this type of energy to LeBron. I think everybody respects him and appreciates him and values him so much that, he's the king.
Yep.
But like with Dillon Brooks, like I like to see LeBron at some point, jack him up. I really
claim your territory. Like, no, this is my shit. Like,
chill out. Like chill out. Like,
so Dillon Brooks is this generation's agitator, supreme villain guy. Desmond Bane very quickly starting to be second place in that role because he's done a couple things this year where I've been like the OG throw off the thing, like just fouls and certain clapping after the Heat were losing, clapping in everybody's face. Who's the guy in your generation that was the Dillon Brooks of your generation?
I don't think we had many of them. Like it was a grown man game back in those days, and so we weren't bumping into each other and doing all that without repercussions because those guys would come and see you after the game in the locker room.
Was Ron one of those guys?
Was Ron Artest? I mean, like if you ask James Harden that, maybe
you got the dent in his head still on the
maybe,
side.
But like Ron wasn't. Yeah, Ron had antics and things like that.
But not like DB.
Not like Ron's was to me was more authentic to who he was, right? To me, Dillon has created this character and projected that on us, and he's living up to that. Like Ron was unpredictable. You don't know which version of him. Yeah, like it's been like that from way back in the days. So,
did you have any interactions with Ron or not?
Yeah, plenty. Yeah, interactions like butted heads.
No. Just like
no, I've spent time with Ron. Man, Ron is one of the most cool, down to earth guys you're gonna ever see. I remember seeing him out in Chicago one time, and it was cold as shit. And Ron had on his New York Timbs with some sweats and a jacket with no shirt underneath the jacket. So I guess the Windy City didn't impact him at all.
New York boy. So maybe he was just trying to prove a point there. But people don't remember. I guess don't realize how cold Ron Artest was. Pre all of the he's a crazy guy, he's this, he's that. Like he was a hooper.
Yeah, Ron Artest was a hooper. I think that's still one of the biggest stains on Indiana history, the Malice in the Palace, because I think they were like at the tops in the East at that particular time.
Them and the Pistons, they were fighting for the top.
They were a really good team. Ron was good at St. John's. Ron was good with the Bulls, and don't forget about like his role on those championship Lakers teams.
Yeah.
And look, it's Ron Artest at the end of the day, man. He's got a lot of respect. He's one of the best defenders in the history of the game. One of the best tough guys in the history of the game.
Yeah.
A mental health advocate and certified crash out at the same damn time.
Yep. Ready to see whatever's
certified crash out. That's not one you want to play with.
Yeah. He in that run with the Lakers with Kobe, I think that was what, 2009? Sound right? 2009, 2009
yeah,
Lakers? Check that up, Sean.
With Gasol?
Yeah. Where he had knee surgery like a week or two prior to either the finals or the playoffs and started playing basically like a week after knee surgery. He said, I took a couple pills and I was running down the hallway and I was like, let's go.
Got the BMO kill.
And it's like
mind over matter, man. Ron Artest was a beast, man. Very underrated as a player. Very underrated.
Criminally underrated for how good he was. But the other thing too with LeBron and Dillon Brooks and all that stuff, it's like LeBron, I feel like, has to protect this image that I don't think he perpetrates an image. I think he is who he is to a fault. But like he has so much auxiliary things to lose, sponsorships, brand deals, being a role model for kids. As much as that, like we laugh and we talk about that, and Charles Barkley famously said, I'm nobody's role model. When you're the face of the league, when you're a face of the franchise, when you're the face of a sport, you carry a different burden that LeBron has carried incredibly well.
Yeah. I think it takes an incredible amount of strength to be able to navigate those spaces. Like LeBron has been hard fouled probably more than anybody of this generation. Now, we can go back like Michael Jordan and the Bad Boys, Pistons, the Jordan rules, like they were taking Mike's head off. But LeBron, he's always been one of those guys who just always did the right thing. And I think that's just a part of his character. He's full of integrity in regards to the game of basketball. Like he really holds himself to a very high standard. There's been many a times where he could crash out. Look, I've heard some of the conversations that Kevin Garnett would have with LeBron on the court, and that is a very focused and disciplined man because KG was downright disrespectful.
KG? Nah, no way.
As much as possible. Ticket was no joke.
Anytime you have a Ticket story, I love to hear it. And he's slowly becoming one of my favorite players from the past generation. Like I'll go back and watch like some of his like highlights and like some of his mixtapes that people put together on YouTube, and I'm just like, damn.
Yeah.
KG was tough.
Yeah. And
KG was tough.
And it wasn't a facade. Really on the court, like he would literally rev himself up to be that every time he stepped on the court. It wasn't an act. It wasn't an image. It wasn't fake. That's who he was.
Do you think there's a lot of that now in the NBA? People saying one thing, doing one thing, but then behind the scenes they're completely different?
Not necessarily. I think they're more image conscious about their brand and things like that. But no, these little young Thundercats, man, they you know, like whatever they kind of do, they show it on IG.
That's true.
You know, they yeah. I don't think they're trying to hide necessarily who they are. I really think that these young kids are very professional, very hardworking. They take their body serious, their training regimen serious. They're better at business. They are doing their thing for sure.
You guys were focused on hooping.
We was hooping, but we was with the bullshit too. Like, you know, it was more than just hooping. You know, the culture, the professionalism culture was worse when I played. Yeah, these guys are much more professional.
You're basically an entire business economy, you yourself as a player, right? Like in a way where I felt like you guys back in the day were like, all right, yeah, I'm a player, but like I'm here to play basketball and also enjoy the things that basketball brings. In a way where these guys are so focused on, let me build a brand, let me start a podcast, let me create an economy outside of what it is that I'm doing, because we're not going to have this game forever. Right? Like the game humbles you very quickly.
Yeah, and the media is shifted mentally too. You're right. But the media is shifted because they can tell their own stories. They don't have to wait for a Fox or an ESPN or, you know, behind the scenes NBA TV, you know,
to pull up to tell their story,
to highlight them. So they can kind of tell their own narratives. And I think they do a good job now of kind of connecting directly to their fans and seeing themselves as a brand. So I tip my hat to those young guys.
Speaking of the young guys, I think the new generation has now found the Boston Celtics, Lakers, Bulls, whoever you want to put in that category, the Heat versus whoever, the Celtics versus whoever. Like, we have that new generation of rivalry that was just birthed over the weekend, basically. NBA Cup semifinal in the Western Conference, Oklahoma City versus San Antonio Spurs. And you look at both of these teams and you're like, all right, we know the Thunder might break the record for most wins in a regular season. They may repeat as champs, as you had called. But here comes this Spurs team, and we know that Wemby's been out for a couple of weeks, almost a month now with the calf strain. He comes in and plays 20 minutes, and he is the best player on the floor for those 20 minutes. And it's like, oh, wow, we're starting to see the seeds of a possibly historic rivalry with historic players in that game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think those teams are kind of built alike because they got a lot of young players. They got some guys who they got in free agency and things like that through trades. But like just aesthetically, like they match up so well with one another. Like the Spurs have a lot of young, talented guys who are super skilled, who are hungry and want to prove themselves. They can play multiple positions, so they're very good defensively. They're very athletic. Harper gets into the paint anytime he wants to. De'Aaron Fox is still one of the fastest point guards in the league. Wemby is just one of those guys who is like a unicorn. Like we really haven't seen. Yeah, we haven't seen somebody like him. And OKC is the bar at the end of the day. So you get up for them. And San Antonio came, they saw, and they conquered that.
And at one point, OKC was up almost double digits, if not double digits, during the game. And I was like, okay, let's see how this kind of turns. And then every time that Wemby would come on the floor, you would look and see OKC, and they're like, all right, damn, how do we maneuver around this guy? Because even Chet and like Wemby and Chet have a bit of a very healthy rivalry going back to the U19s where they were playing against each other. They're coming up at the same time. And And just what can you say that hasn't been said about a guy who is that size, has that speed, has that agility, has the handles, has the mental basketball IQ, the defensive prowess. Like, we start naming all these accolades and you're like, oh yeah, and he's 22.
Yeah, I know.
Or he's 21 or whatever he is.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
These two teams are the teams of the future for the next 10 years.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
yeah, you get no pushback on me with that. I think they're well coached. I think their front offices over at both of the places are
tops in the league,
top
both.
tier. Yeah, Brian Wright, my guy from Orlando Magic. Brian is doing a fantastic job, assembling the Spurs. Sam Presti obviously is probably considered the best in the business, But I like what Chet and Wemby have going. I really do. I think
that friction.
I really like that. I really like that.
We missed that. We don't have that in the game right now.
I really like that. I think, Wemby did a very good job of being just petty enough to let him know, like, yeah, I see you, but I don't see you, in a sense.
Like, you're not on my level yet.
Yeah, he kind of minimized, what Chet has been able to do and highlighted SGA. But a lot of times, here's one of the bad parts about being in that small market. Like, if Chet was in a bigger market, he would be more popular. He'd probably have more respect. He's a champion right now. He got a max contract. He's one of the best young players from the United States of America.
He's got everything going for him.
He's got everything going for him. He's had injury issues, historically. But, man, he's getting better and better every year as well. And don't sleep on Chet. Chet's going to be one of those guys who, wreaks havoc in the league.
And you go big on big. And you got Wemby and Chet, two of the, biggest guys in the league size-wise, but also the kind of the future. Yeah, man. Right? Like the future of these massive guys that can play on the perimeter, that play great defensively, that are very all-around, great players. And you just look at what the Spurs were able to do with drafting and nailing all their draft picks, right? Stephon Castle, one of the best young players in the league. Yeah. Even if he wasn't on either of these two teams, we'd be looking at him saying, like, damn, now that dude plays, like, real hard and real well. Yeah,
and he's so under control, and he's so athletic, and his ground game is so impressive. And he does this little, like, bounce with the hop where he can, like, step either way. And we haven't even seen a lot of explosive dunks from him this year like how we did last year. Right. It's still there, but you see his athleticism more now with his agility and his ability to use the bounce and play through contact and to, be able to Euro step or pound dribble, scoop up. Like, he is creative as a scorer.
He's a 3-level scorer. Like, he's very much SGA in the sense where it doesn't matter what you offer him from a defensive standpoint. Like, he knows, okay, if you're gonna play off me, here's a 3. Yeah. If you're gonna play 2 up, here's a power dribble in. I'm gonna draw the contact and get to the hoop. Like, there's so many things that are happening at this young age for Stephon Castle where you're like, you project him 10 years from now, what is he gonna be? Yeah, I mean, he's I don't know if he has a ceiling. I think he can be one of the better combo guards in the NBA. He was Rookie of the Year. Did he win a national championship at UConn? I think so, yeah.
Yep, so he's always been a winner, so he plays winning basketball. He's so under control with the bounce. You really hardly ever see him sped up unless he's like on a break or something like that, but his pace is tremendous. His skill set is tremendous. He's very unselfish. Yeah. So he can go out and get 30 points some nights, and some nights he might have 15, 8, and 8, and still have an incredible impact on the game. So he's a real nice young player. We had Amin Hassan on the Dan Le Batard show today, and we were talking about Giannis and the whole Giannis situation. Is Miami, New York. Mark Stein, I think, had reported some stuff about the Spurs. Maybe the Spurs are kind of out of the Giannis sweepstakes. And me and him were kind of going back and forth on the show, saying, I think the best time for the Spurs to go out and have made this move was during the draft when they had the right to the number 2 pick. You could dangle that in front of Milwaukee and say, hey, look, you can pick whoever you want, but here's the mystery box of the number 2 pick, right? It's almost like the anticipation of the pick is better than the pick itself. When you have the present wrapped and you're like, damn, what could it be? It could be anything, right? I felt like if they would have packaged that, maybe De'Aaron Fox and somebody else, and went and got Giannis, that team would have been good. But now homegrown, we're not trading any assets away. Now you look at the fruits of what they've built, and in 26 games that we've played in the NBA right now, you look at that Spurs team and you're like, they did it. They nailed every single pick, and they didn't have to give up anything to go get a guy who's, again, one of the, what do you say, Giannis's top 5 players in the league? Top 3 players in the league? Easy top 5.
Top 5,
Easy,
okay.
Yeah, depending on what day, maybe top 3. Depending on, Who you ask?
But 31 years old, making a ton of money on your salary cap. The Spurs do it the Spurs way. The same way they've always done it, the same way the generation before, Robinson and Duncan and Parker and Ginobili and Boris Diaw and you name it. It feels like they're like life is just perpetrating itself now into the future. Are we living in a simulation where all of a sudden the Spurs are just every 10, 15 years they recoup and they redo this again?
Yeah, I think they have a unique ability to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. I think they're patient with the process. They trust their organization. They don't, they're like the Heat in a sense where they don't fire and hire people a lot. They make tweaks, minor tweaks, but their core kind of stays together or either works their way up as somebody like Sam Presti goes along. So the Spurs have a program. They know when to go for it, and then they know when to recalibrate. They have a great balance.
They were able to recalibrate instantly when they got the rights against Wemby. That changes your franchise like that.
That does, but they're still going through growing pains.
Sure.
Right? The Spurs didn't make the playoffs last year, right?
No, because Wemby got hurt.
He got hurt.
He had the blood clot.
Those other guys got an opportunity to play.
Yeah.
So they're
invaluable experience for them.
Valuable experience. When Wemby was down, man, the Spurs were still rolling. Yeah. So it talks about their development. Hey, man, their coach is a young guy.
Right.
Right? And he is doing his thing. He's got those boys playing. I like the way he commands everything on the sideline. He's full of energy and full of life. But he put in work in that organization and worked his way up. So they do a lot of homegrown talent, and you got to always tip your hat to the Spurs.
OKC side now. Are you worried about anything? Do you feel like they saw the Spurs and were like, okay, we need to put a pin in the situation where if Wemby's on the floor for more than he is now, which he's going to play, especially in the playoffs, he's going to play 30-plus minutes a night, 38, 39 minutes a night. Are they looking at that being like, okay, that's something we definitely need to worry about come April, May, June?
I mean, yes and no. I think repeating in the NBA is very difficult.
Yeah.
So they already got their hands full. They also have other opponents in the West. The West is a loaded conference. And so there's a lot of good teams and a lot of great individual players.
Nuggets, Rockets, Lakers.
So a lot of hoopers over there in the West. So they know they're the hunted now, right? People are coming from them. They're not going to sneak up on anyone. They're wearing the crown, so everybody's coming for them. And I think they're battle tested and they're prepared for it. But it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And some of these young teams are really like fast forwarded with their development. The Spurs are a team who has really gotten
light
better.
years, yep.
Really, really gotten better.
Light years ahead of where they were. And then you have the old dogs in Houston, KD and them
Facts.
boys, like still.
Facts.
They just need to hover around just enough to be able to stay on the front side of the top five.
Yeah.
Nuggets on the same tip. They're just like, they're going through some injury situations with Christian Brown, with Aaron Gordon. Like they're still trying to recover back to full health. But if you got 15, you got a shot. Yeah.
And the thing about the playoffs as well, it's a series and the lights a lot of times are a little bit brighter. The intensity is a little bit more intense. And the Spurs don't have that experience, right? It's growing pains. The same way OKC, they got better and better every year, but it took some growing pains, right?
Yeah, they had to lose to Luka in the conference finals.
They had to lose in order to win. So it's a part of growth and development, but you know they're like looking.
That's something they're circling
they're circling the wagon.
But they also get to circle around the calendar. Christmas evening,
I'm gonna be watching
Spurs versus Thunder. I want to say that game's at 5:00.
I'm gonna be watching.
So you'll be done. Christmas is done. Everybody's finishing up. Getting their presents undone. You got Christmas. I don't know what you guys do for Christmas. Nice little dinner at night. Got a little ham in the oven. All of a sudden, KD sitting next to the TV saying, let me throw on real quick the Thunder Spurs game.
I'm gonna be watching, and I'm gonna in particular be watching Chet. And
Wemby?
I'm gonna be watching that more so than anything because I think that those two players, right? They kind of represent like this new wave of very agile, very skilled guys who are over 7 foot, damn near 8 foot.
With Wemby, yeah.
Like these guys are unbelievable, and with that length and that size like that, you always wonder about their bodies, how they hold up. It's just so much space in that body.
Yeah. A lot of things can go wrong.
A lot of things can go wrong, but more so than anything, man, I'm just excited for this young talent we have in the league.
It's gonna be a fun. Hey, did the NFL take Christmas Day from the NBA? Because now there's NFL games now on Christmas Day where there weren't before. The NBA was Christmas Day, like that was the NBA's like little portion of time where everybody from 12:00 from midday basically till midnight.
Yeah.
You had wall-to-wall NBA. Now the NFL said, wait, hold up. We just signed this deal with Netflix. We'll throw Cowboys on in the beginning. Then we'll put the Lions and Vikings up. And then obviously Patrick Mahomes over the weekend tore his ACL. Or the game would have been great between the Broncos and the Chiefs for the Chiefs trying to fight to keep trying to make the playoffs. Now that's out of the way. But do you think that siphons off the shine for the NBA that was always owning Christmas Day?
Yeah. I mean, the NFL is always a force to be reckoned with.
It's a monster.
In the United States of America. Globally, I think the NBA will still do well on Christmas Day. We got so many players that are represented for so many different countries, and usually those countries watch their players. So I think like globally we'll have the numbers, but here in
it just felt like Christmas Day was hoops. That's what you did. You didn't watch football. Football was for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Football was for another time. NBA hoops was Christmas Day, and now it's being taken from us.
You know what? At the end of the day, man, the gambling and the television deals and things like that.
You say the power is too strong.
The powers that be, man, need to make sure that there's a lot of stuff in the marketplace so that people can follow along. So I don't think it's gamble along. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's room. The NFL season ends, so we'll have that time in the playoffs and things like that where we don't have to necessarily compete with the NFL. It's very difficult to compete with the NFL on Sundays.
On anything, yeah.
Yep, on Sundays, right? On Christmas Day, I think we'll outcompete them.
Okay. All right. I had that thought. I was like, damn.
I had to preference that by saying globally.
Right. You take the numbers from
globally.
Everywhere. Let's patch it together. We'll see what's up.
Globally.
Even though this game felt OKC versus San Antonio, that game felt like the Cup final. We still got the Cup final.
We actually do.
Tuesday.
We actually do, and it'll be good.
Victor Wembanyama versus Jalen Brunson on the other side. Knicks beat the Raptors Knicks beat the Magic on the other side of the Emirates NBA Cup. So now we got Knicks versus Spurs, and we haven't really talked a ton of Knicks this podcast, but in the last couple of weeks, I feel like the Knicks have kind of flown under the radar.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson with a monster game at 40 the other night. What do you think about this game? Like, this is a very interesting scenario because it could be a precursor for what happens in June, right? Knicks are one of the best team in the East, and the Spurs just show that they can beat the Thunder.
Yeah.
Little finals preview back in the day. Knicks Spurs was what
90 was that?
99?
99? Yeah.
Look
Marcus
that up, Sean.
Camby.
Yeah, look that up.
Tim Duncan's rookie year. So it was the lockout season.
2000?
No, it wasn't 2000. I think it was 99 if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, let's look that up. When was
I only
the last
say
time?
that because I think that was Tim Duncan's rookie year, right? And no,
it's been a while. I don't know.
It was a lockout year. It might have been 97.
Let's check that out. See the last time Spurs and Knicks played each other.
Sprewell and those guys. The Knicks. Yeah. NBA Finals, New York Knicks.
I want to say it was
Spurs.
99, might have been 98. We don't know. But you think that this is a precursor for what we can see in 2026 is NBA Finals?
No, I don't think so.
On which side?
Hell, I don't think so on the Spurs side.
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
I don't think the Spurs will make it to the finals. I don't think they have enough playoff experience to be able to beat some of those teams. I think styles make fights. And when it's a 7-game series, right, and those older guys and those coaches make their adjustments and the lights are on, by this time your body is a little bit more tired. So, the healthiest
You might be battling injury.
You might be battling injuries and things like that. But you have to learn how to win in the playoffs and experience. How you get that experience is by participating in those playoffs. You can't replicate that intensity in a regular season game. Even in the Cups, you can't replicate how intense the playoffs are. And if your body hasn't been out in those deep waters, you don't necessarily know how to swim in them. And those guys don't have the experience, I don't believe, to compete with OKC. I believe Denver could beat them in a 7-game series, but that's just my opinion on it.
It just feels like that from the Knicks' perspective for the Eastern Conference, you start looking across the landscape and you're like,
East wide open.
East is super wide open, right? You got the Pistons who are at the top of the East right now. Good team, right? Good players. Duran's been awesome. Cade's been one of the best guards in the East, and if not in the NBA. But it's like they haven't been there yet.
Yeah, they haven't.
They lost to the Knicks in the playoffs last year. Boston's not that team anymore. The Raptors, kind of a mismatch of guys, and it's like they haven't had that experience yet.
I think the Knicks are better this year than they were last year.
The Knicks are poised right now to come out of the East because it's a war of attrition. Who else is there? The Magic are hurt. Wagner's out. Suggs just got hurt over the weekend. The Heat, even though they've been a fun team, like they're not there yet.
Yeah.
Barring a historic Giannis
Maybe
trade.
if we get Giannis.
That'll be a very interesting conversation because that Heat
But the
Knicks
Knicks do
rivalry
have
would
a
be
good
crazy.
chance. They maybe I misspoke about them. I do think they have a chance. Cleveland is down this year.
Yeah, Mobley's hurt.
Yeah, Tatum
Garland's
is out.
hurt.
Tatum is out with the Celtics. So the Knicks have an opportunity. I think they're better. They got more depth this year. They got like Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench and things like that. He's a guy who can go off.
And Mike Brown's got him playing really good.
He really does. He really's got them playing good basketball. So we'll just have to wait and see. It's all about their health. And those guys are battle tested. A lot of those guys played together in college, right? Those guys, they've been playing together a few years now. I think they're buying into Mike Brown's system a little bit. He's playing a little bit faster than
they're playing very efficient. If you look across the last couple of games, like it hasn't been Jalen hero ball basically, right? It was for the first couple of years that he was really coming on the scene with Thibodeau. It was like, all right, I'm going to pound the ball for 22 seconds, and then I'm going to have to either get a shot, a floater, have to create something, maybe kick out for a three. They're spacing the ball a lot more. They're moving the ball a lot more. There's a lot of equity when it comes to who's going to take shots. You look around, Bridges is getting 13, 14 shots a game. Cat's getting 13, 14 shots a game. Jalen's maybe in the 20s, but like there's a lot of movement where it's not just, all right, let's watch 11. What is he going to do here?
Right. And I also think it's very difficult for your best player to be so small. Right.
I don't know if he's 6 feet tall.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. He is sneaky quick. He's got a mean handle. He can, he's super strong and super smart. But I just can't remember the last time the best player on your team was 6'1" and you won a championship. You might have to go back to like the Isaiah Thomas days. Right?
Even AI, who was the best player on the court,
he didn't
win anything.
Yeah, he didn't win. So I just don't know if the Knicks have enough with their elite players to actually win a chip. I think the elite players on some of those other teams we talked about are better than the Knicks elite players.
But he's a gamer.
He's a gamer.
And that's the thing. When he gets in the playoffs, everything is off. And in the playoff, he grows 5 inches. I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens. But all of a sudden, he starts moving around. I'm like, damn, Jalen's 6'5" out there. Like, he's getting to the cup. He's hitting floaters over everybody.
Yeah,
he's finishing through contact.
Dude, he can post up. I've seen him,
he's got the old man post up where he's got the Mark Jackson up a little bit, up and under.
The boy is cold.
The fact that he's lefty, again, it's stupid because everybody knows he's lefty. But tell me true or not true, when you're guarding somebody who's lefty, they just have an array of shots that they can get off from certain angles that you're not used to guarding. Because I would like to see how many players in the NBA are lefty. There, 10, 15?
I'm not sure.
Like, think about that question. Though. Everybody is basically right hand ball dominant, and like you're used to guarding. All right, he's right. Yeah. Don't force him to go left. Even though in the NBA, obviously they can go either way, but it just feels like when you're guarding somebody lefty, there's an extra second. Oh, let me do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, and JB's one thing you can't measure is his heart.
Yeah,
like that's a dog.
He leads the league in heart.
Yeah, that's a dog.
Who do you got? Spurs, Knicks to hoist the NBA Cup.
Wow. Look, after the way they played against OKC, I really like the Spurs.
But a letdown game though.
But I don't know how healthy Wemby is, right? He's coming back from an injury and things like that.
And the calf strain, which is obviously the two words in play
and a calf strain
in basketball that nobody wants to hear right now.
I think styles make fights. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna go with the Knickerbockers.
Ooh, I like that pick.
I'm gonna choose JB and the Knickerbockers.
I like that pick. Also, as we had mentioned, I think last episode on Thursday, this game does not count for records.
Right.
It doesn't count for anything. It's basically an extra game at the end of the year. So maybe the Spurs, I'm sure there's people want to make the $500,000 that you get from winning the NBA Cup. But also maybe they're not as inclined to push Wemby as much.
Yeah, he's probably going to be on a minutes restriction, and they should keep him that way because you don't want him. You don't want to win a cup in the middle of the season and not be there for
the real one.
Yeah, you want to be able to compete for a championship. So whatever his minute restriction is, I think they'll keep him on it. But in that minute restriction, man, he's going to give him hell. He gives you like a full game's worth of work in 22 minutes.
Yep, absolutely.
It's crazy.
I'm going to go with the Knicks too, though.
Okay.
That's I think the death sentence. Spurs bet accordingly. I think the Spurs are going to win. Me and Katie both picked the Knicks, so the opposite is bound to happen.
It happens, but that's just what my feeling. That's what my gut was telling me right now.
Yeah, I think Jalen Brunson has a big game. Cat shows up in the moments where Wemby is not on the floor and is able to kind of make some stuff happen. So All right.
Last time they played was 1999.
99.
99.
And there's 49 lefties.
49 lefties in the NBA right now?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's
That's a lot.
That's a good amount.
That's more than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's guys that
There's guys that are lefty.
Yeah, a few of them, right?
49. Damn, I was way off.
49 at what is it, 450 in the NBA?
10%.
Yeah, it's
About 10%. All right, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Check out the YouTube show. We've got all the visuals there if you're just listening or if you're just on YouTube. Go make sure and show some love to the opposite of what you're doing. You can follow him at Keyon Dooling across all platforms. You can follow me at 10 Day Tony across all platforms. Thanks to Sean. Thanks to Miggs in the back. And KD, we got Christmas coming up soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got the family, the whole tribe back inside the house now.
I got to get my weight up, but this is one of the best times of year. It's all about like family, celebrating our faith.
Yeah,
as well. The little things, right? So create some memories with your family. Have some fun with your family.
Let's go.
And be present with your family during this holiday season.
Let's go. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Peace.
We out.